And when it comes to just living my daily life, as far as, outside of being a writer, of course, I have a day job. I interact with the general public every day, and I'm not ashamed to interact with a person and include in the conversation the fact that I am a queer woman, and show them kindness and compassion and empathy and try to help them to the best of my ability. Because even though a lot of people I come into contact with every day may have voted against my rights or may believe, gays, trans aren't equal under the law, I want to show them compassion and empathy still. I want to see them as human beings. And I think that through being the example, through being kind, being empathetic, being generous is the way to heal and understand each other rather than project the hate that they are projecting onto us. So that is how I will continue to show up for the community and myself every day as my authentic self.
I like that word healing, Sky, because I think that even though we are writing coaches and writing support, that we all have the depth that we want to help people heal with their story. And we just kind of all want to say from WriteWorks as a team that just because June is about to be over, obviously Pride doesn't end, and Pride, we have to carry that with us all year. And a huge part of that right now is making sure queer voices are heard. Queer stories save lives. And just, like Sky said, show up authentically in the world, wherever you are. And for us, a lot of that, besides our paid jobs, is our Action Hub and Discord. And I can speak for myself, I think we're building a really cool community. The fact that we have a safe space it's always been necessary, but for me personally, it feels extra necessary right now. And I can honestly say I think the team at WriteWorks is kind of helping me through this era in history.
And I love what you're talking about with creating the safe space. And I think for me going forward, even when Pride Month has ended, it's always Pride Month. That if that is your truth and that is your life, then I don't want for anyone to have to diminish themselves or make themselves smaller to fit in or feel included, and we really try to create that space for everyone where you can be authentically who you are and what you are, have your beliefs, have your lifestyle, have your love, however you want to love, and be heard. Again, stories change lives, as you said. It's so important for people to be authentic and be able to say, this is who I love, this was my experience, and be seen and be heard and be accepted for that, not judged on that. And moreover, for us to be supportive of that so that those voices get heard, that they are seen, and other people can read those stories and maybe be helped by them. Because not everyone has the ability to be themselves, to feel like they can come out and be authentic in who they are and what they are, because the world around them, the circumstances are not accepting of that, or it's dangerous. God forbid in this day and age that still happens. But it's so important that we create this community, where we are queer, we are gay, we are allies, whatever we are, that we're all holding that space for everyone inclusively to say, come in, you're welcome, let's hear your story, and it may inspire others to free them in ways that they've never known freedom before. So I love that we're creating that as well, and what amazing stories are going to come out of this.
Yeah, we're really quite focused on obviously the authors behind the stories, because that's where the stories come from. But we're pretty passionate about the stories themselves too.
I love what you're saying about how the stories from diverse voices can help foster understanding and an experience that you might not have. Well, you can have that experience through reading a book, through reading someone else's story. You can put yourself in their shoes or the shoes of their character that's living whatever struggle that you might not know firsthand, but you can essentially get a firsthand experience through a story. And that's what's magical about it. And I think that's why it's super important to be supporting and uplifting diverse voices in, not just queer, but, every type of diversity, in the world.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's
Support
pride in
those
humanity.
creators, support those writers, help to get that voice out there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because there's a lot of truths, I mean, of course, 5 out of 6 of us are queer on the team, but we're inclusive of, I feel like I'm seeing a vibe of us just being very welcoming to neurodivergent people, myself included, and that's listening and learning, realizing that everybody just thinks a little bit differently, processes it a little bit differently, and not just tolerating that. I hate the word tolerance because it's about celebration, So we wanted to bring that loud, proud pride with us for the rest of the year and forever.
Absolutely. And it helps people who don't have that in their experience to understand and empathize with what other people are going through.
Yeah.
If that's not your walk, then how would you know?
Yeah, because sometimes
very important.
Our online communities and our books are literally the only thing that somebody has to see that reflection of themselves.
I mean, that was absolutely true for me when I was younger, and it was the 1990s, and I could only find 2 queer books in my library, Annie on My Mind and Ruby Fruit Jungle. And I had never, as an avid reader, finally reading a book that I could actually see myself reflected in was life-changing for me.
Yeah, literally.
In a way, it saved my life. It was a really tough time for me, and that representation really matters. It can literally save lives. So to anyone out there that has a story in them and they're, worried about taking that dive, just go for it. And we're here for you. We want to support you, hang out with you, encourage you. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, and you don't have to write novels. You don't have to write if you're bookish and you just want to talk about other stories, that's
Absolutely
cool too. It's not just about authoring.
Yeah, you don't have to be a writer, just book lover.
Yeah.
Someone that wants to support and uplift other people. We're here for you. So
and join the conversation on Discord. We're all there to hear each other's stories and to learn and grow.
Yeah.
That's it.
We hope to see you there.